Hey, this is H1. We're going to be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding. Today, I got a game for you. It is Magnus Carlsen against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. And guess whose side we're on? We're on Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. We're going to be looking at this AI division chess tournament. 15 minutes on the clock? Not classical? Let's see who won this. All right, so like I said before, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is going to be the white pieces and Magnus Carlsen is going to be the black pieces. Let's get started. So if we're looking at this game from the right angle here, we're going to go into a Sicilian defense. And after the Sicilian defense, Oh, did we hit the move D4 already? Oh, man. Okay. So after going into the Sicilian defense, we went into a calm Moroxy bond formation and went into a Moroxy bond formation after the move C4, which usually a Moroxy bond structure is with these two pawns right here on C4 and E4, and is preventing this pawn from going to D5 for not forever, but usually if black gets this move D5, then they're doing pretty well. Knight to F6, they are attacking the pawn. This queen is touching the C4 pawn, can't capture because of this bishop on F1. And then, okay, we're developing pieces. They just formed a battery along this diagonal. And then Maxime was like, I'm not having that. And not only that, I'm threatening this fork on the E5 square. And so after that, we have a bishop to E3. They had to replace that knight on the D4 square. Not replace, but they had to get rid of that knight on the D4 square because these two pieces were attacking it. And so after the move knight to C2, D6, it seems like Magnus Carlsen already knew that that bishop was going to get traded off sooner or later. Queen D2, rook E1, and now all the pieces are developed on the white side. What is Magnus Carlsen going to do next here? It seems like Magnus Carlsen decided to put the knight to G4 to force the issue. It didn't really need to, actually, there's probably some other moves that could have been played, but this was the strategy, this was the idea that Magnus Carlsen went into. Trade the bishops, and then do the move E5. And you can see that Maxime got a little bit more space on the king side, which, I mean, both of these rooks is lined up on the F file and the E file. But let's see how this transpired. Pin the bishop on the D file to the queen on D2. That's why Maxime decided to move the queen on a different file, because usually speaking, a nugget here for everybody. And let me just see how this looks. A nugget here for everybody. Usually speaking, you don't want your opponent's rooks on the same file as your queen, because once it opens up, actually, there's just potential threats that you do not want in the position, and that's the rook being on the same file as your queen. Hopefully that is a helpful tip, okay? And so after the move queen to E2, attacking the knight, which is a threat, we always got to get those forcing moves in there. And then we have, okay, putting our own rook on D1, because we don't want them having all the fun on the file. Knight to E4, rook F3, just randomly doing a rook lift. Maybe get some rook F3, rook G3 action. Of course not now, because the knight can just capture on G3. But sooner or later, that's going to happen very quickly. Bishop captures. Could, like, queen capture? Queen could capture, maybe. But, you know, usually speaking, you take with the, if you capture with the queen, then it's probably more vulnerable, all that grandmaster crap. And so after bishop takes on E4, yes, you know, we're just going through this game right now, okay? I'm not diving really deep into it, but I know that that bishop sacrifice wasn't the best at this moment. It was a good, pressure move on Magnus Carlsen, because I know he's not used to being attacked all the time. And usually, if you get to attacking Magnus Carlsen, and sometimes he folds, sometimes he doesn't. You know, if there's other 2700 and 2800s attacking Magnus Carlsen, sometimes he, like, you know, he gets out of his comfort zone, okay? And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do if we're going to defeat that monster over there. And so after doing bishop captures on H7, rook to H3, attacking the king, and then this dang near looks like checkmate. But white was not winning in this position. There was too many threats going on. Even though that this move is checkmate right now, they can get out of it. And Magnus Carlsen easily did with the move F5. You probably is looking at the evaluation bar right over here. Oh, actually, right over there. Right over there. And you've probably seen the bar equalize a little bit after the move F5. Side note, F6 was the best move. Side note, F6 was the best move. And I'm guessing if this happens now, and this is what happened in the real game. Yeah, after taking the rook on D1, this same stuff could not have happened. This same stuff could not have happened at all. I think he played this in the actual game. Okay, so this same threat was still on the table. But F6 was a little bit better. We got F5, Queen H7, and this equalized the game. And then we got the move Rook to H6, still threatening Rook F6. After Rook F6, capturing pawn was the worst move ever that Magnus Carlsen could have done. Should have just took the rook, weirdly enough, because after taking a rook, if they would have went down that road, this queen could not have captured this pawn. And then plus two, there's probably a draw sequence, maybe? That's probably why it's equal right now. Oh, wait a minute. This is kind of epic. Yeah, so Maxime would have been forced to this draw sequence, but if this pawn was on F6, the draw sequence would not have been a thing. That is crazy, because the knight could have just captured a rook. There's no draw sequence. I can't say the word sequence, but there's no draw sequence that that black can do. Wait, we do this move? Yep, that's just winning. After the move F5, Rook F6, because Queen takes on C4 was a terrible move, and this is how the game ended with the move Queen takes on G7. Yeah, Magnus Carlsen just gave up because there's too many threats in this position. This rook could just capture on F8. After the queen captures, what is this? Like, this is just losing. What is this? Pawn captures, threatening this checkmate right here, literally. This rook can't even go right here because this is checkmate. And then let's say we go back. This queen wants to go back to C7, but it cannot. Let's say we try to stop that checkmate from happening, right? I'm probably missing a move. Oh yeah, just push up the pawn, and then they get a second queen. And then what else can happen here? Let's say that this knight just takes the rook on D1. Then there's checkmate at 1. Just to put that out there so that everybody knows that this game is lost for the black pieces. Magnus Carlsen lost that. And so Maxime got that dub, and he actually won the tournament that this was played in. So congrats to him. I know I'm pretty late on the tournament, but I want to be more like frequent when talking about these massive games. Okay, thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Keep on fighting to the end, staying focused in chess and in real life too. Peace!